hope you guys can hear me. I don't have a good throat today, so please bear with me. My name is Sanooj. As Sneha mentioned, I've been a part of AWS community for a long time. I'm also a organizer of this event as well. And accidentally, I got a session and I just got in, that's it. So today I'm going to talk about one of the hot topic in this industry of cloud. I think each and everyone sitting here does have this problem of cost in your organization. I've worked with many companies from a scale of a small startup, budding startup, to a big MNC like Intuit, who is one of the top 10 paying customer to AWS. All of them had the same issue with cost. So today's topic is FinOps, the human side of cost. We are not going to discuss about any technicalities on how we can save cost, but we are totally taking a different perspective of cost. We are not going to tell you, if you do this, you will save cost, but we are going to give you an eye-opener on what needs to be done in your organization to change the view of how you're seeing the cost. So before we go further, I have a question to you. How many of you are aware that last year, AWS reported a 4 billion cloud resource wastage by its customers? 4 billion, I'm talking about 4 billion. That is, kind of a big number to at least our Kerala government today. $4 billion. I'm not surprised, yeah, many of you don't know, that's fine. How many of you know, or how much of that 4 billion is contributed by your organization? Anybody know? Good. At least some of them know how it's the contribution of your company, of course. But a more important question is, do you guys know out of that 4 billion, what is your contribution? If you don't know that, that is something that needs to be bothered about. So let's take a step back. Let's talk about why do companies move from on-prem to cloud? So there are many reasons for that. It actually varies from companies to company. So for some company, it might be a faster product to market. Some of them, it might be a lesser operational cost or maintainability, etc. And even there are companies who move to cloud expecting that will optimize their cost as well. But yeah, you guys know the truth. So all these companies which are backed on cloud, when they grow, the cloud cost also grows along with that. But sustainably growing the cloud cost along with the company is the key to business sustainability. And yeah, there's a key to business sustainability. So if you see today, all the cloud providers provides us a lot of metrics and information about the cost that we are incurring in each cloud platform. There are so many tools also available, like, for example, I'm talking about AWS here, Trusted Advisor, Cost Optimization Hub, and right-sizing recommendations, etc. Even with all these action items right in front of us, we are still unable to save most of the cloud cost. Many companies are still exceeding their budgets by a heavy margin. Are we missing something here? Are we really missing something here? That is where the human side of cost comes into picture. So to give you a holistic view, this is the current state of affairs. In many companies today, I will say not many, most of the companies today, they approach a top-down approach and a centralized cost responsibility approach to cost. For example, in many companies, the cloud mitigation happens mostly when the leadership or the finance team identifies that there is a spike in cost of the last month's total business or something. So that is when they get to know that there is a cost spike that will boil down to the engineering leader of the corresponding business unit, or all the engineering leaders for that matter, and that boils down to engineering manager and then to the engineers. Most of you, I think, comes under that category, which actually pressurizes the engineer to take multiple actions, which may lead to blame shift. I don't have to tell you what that is. Excuse me. Yeah, so when this blame shift happens, then again, there will be an issue with collaboration. It will go even collaboration and communication will go even worse. And then there's a lack of visibility to the individual contribution. That's the first question that I asked you guys. I mean, do you know how much of the 4 billion are you incurring? That many of us don't know. Even I don't know. So yeah, that is the next thing that, lack of visibility for individual contribution. I will tell you why it is important. Then the third and most important thing is most of the people think about cloud cost optimization as a single time activity. Like, okay, when the pressure comes from the top, we'll do some optimization, that is it. We are done for the day. But it is a continuous journey. As just like people say about health, there is no destination, it's a journey. We have to continue with the process again and again to make sure that the cloud is optimal and business is sustainable. So now, let's see what is the solution for this, or to me, what is the solution for this? First of all, cloud cost is not a centralized cost responsibility. It should be a decentralized responsibility which has to be dealt by each and every member or every persona in an organization. It can be an engineer, it can be engineer manager, it can be even a VP, director, or even a finance team, a finance member. So, yeah. And then when that happens, this collaboration issue and communication issue will drill down. So when I say lack of visibility, that actually all of this drills down to lack of visibility. So when you consider engineer, what does the engineer needs to know? There are so many resources which we are spun up in cloud, which might be created by us or which might be owned by us. When I say owned, it can be a team who owns that. The team lead of that particular team should have the ownership of that resource. When that engineer knows that this is the cost that I'm incurring and this is the cost that I can optimize in those resources, that is when the visibility, individual visibility comes into picture. When an engineering manager knows this is the cost that my team is incurring, that is where the visibility comes into picture. When the leadership knows this is the cost my business unit is incurring, that is when the visibility comes into picture. And when the finance team knows this is the business level cost that the entire organization is incurring, that is when the individual contribution comes into picture. When that comes, people will definitely know that comes actually, that is actually related to accountability. Now someone is accountable for that cost. Earlier it wasn't. Nobody knows that what was the cost that you have been incurring. But now it is accountable to a person. Now if the cost is increasing, somebody can directly pinpoint to this guy and say, see, this is the cost that you're incurring, and this could be a reason why we are going out of budget this month. Then what will happen? That pinpointing even that will not happen because there creates a peer pressure. There creates a peer pressure because if I'm spending a lot, if I'm not optimizing my cloud resources, then somebody's going to point at me. So there is a peer pressure happening there, so people will start optimizing their resources. And yeah, of course, the last one, it is not a journey, it's not a destination, it's a journey. Yeah, I think I don't have to explain it further. Oops, sorry. Before that, I have one more slide. I don't have a slide, I have one more thing. So when everybody talks about cloud optimization, people mostly talk about optimizing the cloud resources, but there is much more than that. It is not just optimizing the cloud resources, it is optimizing the humans who are using the cloud resources as well. That is where FinOps is coming into picture. That is what FinOps is, the basic of FinOps is, persona-based accountability. But can having a FinOps team solve the entire problem? Again, there will be a team. A team will be again collaborating or communicating with multiple people. Whatever we discussed about the blame shift or the blame games, everything will come into picture back again. Or should it be a tool that has to fix this problem? Question to you. Thank you.